interrupt this transmission to bring you the following live broadcast.
It's Wednesday. It's 6 o'clock somewhere. With Karina ready in her chair. And almost 10 whole people watching from home. Are you ready? I said, are you ready? It's time for the ThinkSoJoE Show!
So, well, it is 6 o'clock, so we're not really starting early, but that short countdown was my own fault. I was like setting everything up. I wanted it to go like straight to the Zoom call because Karina's not here this week. She's unable to speak. She's been messaging me all day when she needs to talk to me. So I wanted it to go like straight to the Zoom instead of a shot of me and then the lower thirds pop up that say me and Karina, and then I have to awkwardly switch those. And I forgot to set it back to 60 seconds from the 5 seconds to test it on. So here we are. It is me, ThinkSoJoE, and I am with one of my, I don't want to say oldest friends because that makes us sound old, but like one of my longtime friends and frequent collaborator, Mr. Kevin McGee. Welcome to the show.
Hello.
And I also have to hit this button so that I'm recording the podcast.
That's probably a good idea.
Quit forgetting to do that.
Hey, remember that 10 minutes lead-in time that we had when we were bullshitting?
Yeah. I think the short countdown threw me. Well, we were bullshitting, and then I'm like, oh shit, it's 5:59. I gotta hit the button. And then by that point, it was like, oh, like 5 seconds we're on. Like, what the hell? Like, oops. And but hey, I hit it early this week, and we're actually broadcasting this week. So, and the other thing is, I can easily just like pull the audio from the recorded video and use that for the podcast. So it all works out in the end. That's why I triple record everything. Yeah, it's
perfect.
Well, as soon as I hit the stream button, it starts recording too. Like that was a lesson learned when we were having bad internet issues and were unable to keep the show going for more than 10 minutes.
Are we broadcasting on all WNY this week?
We are now broadcasting. Yes, now that I've realized, oh shit, I didn't hit the button, and then I hit the button. Now we're broadcasting on all WNY. So anybody trying to listen to the show can actually listen to the show this week instead of having to click over to YouTube and watch us.
Hi, Scott.
I don't know what Scott's doing, but he said he was busy. Scott is always choice number 2 because it's his station. And he's the reason I'm able to do this show. So he's always choice number 2 behind Brian when I need a guest co-host. And Brian, of course, because he used to co-host this show. But you were like the next person to come to mind. I'm like, let me see if Kevin can zoom in. And I'm glad you were able to do it. Because I don't know who I would have gone to next. I would have had to call John. Could you imagine having John as a co-host? Our drummer?
I mean, you would have been talking to yourself the whole time.
Basically.
I love John, but he's
very quiet.
Not a talker.
No, he's very, even when he is a talker, I'd probably have to crank up his volume. He's not a very loud talker, so. But yeah. So obviously you and I are in the living brain dead together. We are, I think, is it tomorrow or the next day is like the anniversary of the album coming out, which means tomorrow or the next day is actually John's birthday. So happy birthday, John. And we're also now collaborating on Things You Might Not Know, my YouTube channel that has been resurrected from the dead, which I just did an episode. It was an old script from my old writer, but starting this Monday coming up, you and I are collaborating on this. You're doing my scripts, and I'm doing the hosting and editing and all that other fun crap, and trying to hopefully eliminate some of the criticisms that I was getting in the first season. Like, what's he doing with his hands?
I'll be honest, watching those old videos, that was my biggest distraction, was your hands.
Yeah. That seemed to be like all the comments. What's he doing with his hands? Because I would get like super animated and I would just be moving around and like it did not look natural, but it was exactly how my body was reacting to me reading these scripts. So I'm like, okay, when I get back to doing these, the first thing I'm doing is sitting down. So
You were also doing like the same thing over and over again. So you like the top half of you was talking, but from the neck down, you were an NPC pretty much.
Gotcha. Yeah. Makes sense. Yeah. So I tried to take a lot of the criticisms from the original run and kind of address those in by like sitting down was like the main thing to do, because it's like, okay, now you can't even see if I'm moving my hands. I've really been like, while I'm doing voiceovers, just kind of trying to sit there, like sit still and do them instead of getting like really animated. Karina's in the Facebook chat. She says hi.
Hi, Karina.
Yeah, but so I'm trying not to be like as animated when I'm doing them, and I'm trying to just, be more still and let the story tell itself instead of me trying to like be animated and really get into it. So, and especially with, starting next week with these scripts that you've got, we've done one so far that's in the can, that's ready to go. It's set to come out Monday. I guess maybe we can spoil it. You think?
I mean that one's up to you, man.
This Monday on Things You Might Not Know, we're going to talk about the Gin Blossoms, and particularly the song "Hey Jealousy," and the really surprisingly dark story behind it. Did you know about any of that before I commissioned you to do that script?
I knew like surface level stuff about it just from listening to Alan Cross, but I didn't know like the deep down shit on it. That was, some of it was like ironically fucked up.
Yeah, Alan Cross. I love Alan Cross. That's like when I'm in the booth and I'm recording voiceovers, I'm trying to channel Alan Cross. I just love his delivery. I love everything. Like I love everything about his presentation. Karina says she's gonna marry Alan Cross. Yeah, I
sounds correct.
Living in Western New York, we get the Canadian radio station, and we used to probably both listen to Alan Cross back in the 90s, the ongoing history of new music, which still exists today as a podcast. If you're looking for something to listen to after this show, that's definitely a recommendation from me. It's what I listen to when I travel.
I already listened to it.
Have you? That's what I listen to when I travel. Like I'll like download a bunch of episodes of his show and just listen to him on the bus or whatever while I'm traveling.
I got to introduce Nikki to Alan Cross since she's from Jersey. She never got access to that, so she likes to call his voice ASMR.
Yeah. Oh, I could agree with that. Somebody asked me to do an ASMR script, and I like had to look up what that was. I didn't know. And like, I didn't look it up until after they asked for a revision. And I'm like, oh, and they're like, no, we want you to whisper. And I'm like, you want me to whisper? Like, I don't even know if that'll get past my noise gate. Like, okay, sure. I'll whisper. So, but now
that's the problem is everyone thinks ASMR is just, whispering.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, and now that I know what it is, I know to like calm down and take it easy and go like Bob Ross style is what I would say. I think somebody had asked me to like, oh, we want it more polite in a script. And I said, okay. So I just kind of tried to channel my inner Bob Ross and speak very softly and, be very polite and not get angry, not raise my voice, not get hyped up about anything. I mean, got to do what the client wants, I guess. But
yes, as I'm learning.
Yeah, I mean, you ever get jobs and you're just like, have you listened to my demo when they ask for a certain style?
Not yet. Like I've had I'm pretty even across the board. Like I'm doing a whole bunch of like different finance YouTube channels and a couple entertainment pop culture news ones. So like I haven't had to mess with anything too weird yet, just really poorly written scripts.
Yeah, those come across. I'm getting them from clients I don't expect them from sometimes, and I'm just like, what happened? Everything used to be really good, and now all of a sudden you're like mixing up really simple words, and like I'm having to decipher what you have to say. Like that's the challenge of the budget narrator, I guess you could probably call us. That's the challenge. It is, if they're not springing a lot on the voice, they're certainly not springing a lot on the scripts, and we're sitting here like, what is that supposed to mean?
Guaranteed 9 times out of 10, they're not proofreading those scripts before they hand them over to us either.
No, and I offer a proofreading, like, pay me an extra $10 and I'll pay this other guy to do a proofread for you. And, like, I've sent scripts to the proofreader and they're like, what are you trying to say here? I'm like, don't ask me. It ain't my script. I didn't write it. I'm giving it to you to decipher it for a client. And they're like, okay. But luckily, nobody's ever been like, oh, I don't like it. So, whatever.
Yeah, I haven't had really any revisions. They kind of just don't care. It's like, okay, it sounds good enough. I think they listen to like the first 45 seconds, and as long as that's good, there's like, okay, edit it, go. Thumbnail, go.
Yeah, no, I actually like dread looking at my revisions when I get in now, because it's just like, what do you want now? Why? What did I do wrong this time? And it's never anything I did wrong. It's like, oh, the client wants this and the client wants that and the client wants you to say this. Occasionally you'll be like, oh, this wasn't the style we wanted. We want to do something. I'm like, okay, that's fine, whatever. Just, you could have told me that up front. But yeah, it's that's
I had one of those today.
That's the Fiverr life. They had a really good Super Bowl commercial making fun of Trump and his 4-star lawn care or whatever that was, or 4 Seasons lawn care.
You know what's funny is I think I was going to the bathroom when that commercial aired, and then I heard you talking about how good it was, and I was like, oh, I need to go back and watch the commercial. And I never did, and I just straight up fucking forgot about it until right now.
I mean, the commercial itself was okay, but it was how they followed it up, because they're obviously making fun of the confusion between the 4-star landscaping and the 4-star or 4 Seasons hotel or whatever, and they followed it up on Twitter by like tagging all of the companies that had ads, but tagging the wrong companies, which I didn't catch what they were doing until they tagged Rockstar Pro Wrestling instead of Rockstar Games. And I'm like, oh, I get it. And like, I thought that in itself, like that idea was brilliant. I didn't, the commercial itself was all right. I mean, if you want to spend your Super Bowl ad money on that, cool, whatever. That's them. But, I thought they, did a great job following it up on Twitter by tagging wrong companies and just, taking the piss out of Donald Trump and Rudy Giuliani there.
They didn't half-ass it.
No. There's Karina's mom's in the chat.
Hi, Karina's mom.
Hello. Yeah, no, there were some okay Super Bowl ads, but that was months ago, so we can move on from those, I guess.
Oh yeah, there's plenty of shit that's happened between
absolutely.
then and now.
Absolutely. Well, did you end up, I know I talked to you during the course of the week, did you end up catching the end of the AEW pay-per-view?
Yes, we made sure that we watched the last 2 matches last night, because Nikki missed all of the entrances for the street fight too. Like, she missed that whole cinematic beginning, so we just basically rewatched from that point forward.
Okay, so Kevin and I are wrestling fans, and we haven't really talked about this ending because you hadn't seen it until last night, but The AEW pay-per-view ended with an exploding barbed wire death match. And what was supposed to happen...
I was very excited for it.
I was too. I mean, you don't see those in the U.S. Those are really more of a Japan thing. So, I was looking forward to it, and they end, and they're like, "Oh, the ring's gonna explode!" Like when this 30-minute timer ends, and then it's just like sparklers. Yeah, you can't even contain your laughter over there.
It was like the match itself was fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like everything that preceded the goddamn little fireworks was fantastic. But that was just like, I don't understand, like, did things not happen the way they were supposed to? Like, did not enough things go off and that's all that happened? So I kind of stayed out of wrestling Twitter after that.
So they're kind of trying to play it off. Tony Khan was on Impact last night, and they're trying to play it off like Kenny Omega built the ring and just did a really shitty job of it. Like the explode, like he built the bomb that was supposed to blow up the ring and did a really shitty job of it. But that doesn't explain why Eddie Kingston, who came in to like cover up Jon Moxley, like why he's just like laying there dead.
Yeah, that like at first, if he was trying to sell the explosion, okay, I get that. But he was laying there for an uncomfortable amount of time.
Yeah.
Like I was wondering if he like had a heart attack or passed out or something himself. I was kind of worried.
Somebody had asked on Twitter, they're like, why is Eddie Kingston just laying there? And I'm like, smoke inhalation? Like what? There's no other explanation. So I'm very curious after the show tonight to tune into Dynamite and see how they try to explain this away, because obviously that was not what anybody expected. So that's interesting. As far as the wrestling world goes. So
as far as the wrestling world that I follow goes.
Right. You're not a big WWE watcher.
Not anymore.
Yeah. No, I'm still watching that crap, but mostly because I voice Slat Rock every night. So.
Oh, I get it. I do not begrudge you such things.
Which is one of we were talking about clients who, the quality of work, quality of the script kind of declines, and I've had definitely some instances where I'm just like, that's not what happened. So that's my excuse for watching as much pro wrestling throughout the week as I can. Is I voice pro wrestling channels. I need to know these things.
So that's how you explain it to yourself.
That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Yeah, that's why. Now, if only I was voicing a hockey channel, so I can explain why I'm still watching the Buffalo Sabres. Had a few losses to the New Jersey Devils over the course of the week. They lost to Philly last night. They'll probably lose to Pittsburgh tomorrow night, because why stop now?
Yeah. I don't follow hockey at all.
Nah, I don't. Neither does Karina. She just sits here and listens to me babble on about the Sabres every week on the show.
Not from lack of trying, but there's too many goddamn games.
Yeah.
I think that's my biggest problem with it, is there's too many goddamn games. There's 3 or 4 games a week.
Well, especially right now, because they started the season late, so they're trying to pack as much as they can into just a very condensed period of time, with the intent of basically getting the off-season started around the time that they would normally do, so they can get everything ready to do a full season next year. So everything's been really condensed. They're playing back-to-back games 2-3 times a week now. But I actually found out there's going to be a new NBA Jam style basketball game. I can't think of what it's called off the top of my head, but it's going to have players from the NHL, the NBA, the NFL, Major League Baseball, all in this basketball game, and Jack Eichel from the Sabres is one of those players that's going to be in this video game. So that's pretty cool for me, because I love NBA Jam. If you remember, a couple of months ago, I used to have the NBA Jam arcade machine behind me here in the studio before we rearranged everything. So
Where did that end up? Where is that now?
Oh, that's in the next room over, along with all my guitars. Most of my guitars.
So that's the workroom, that's the playroom, but sometimes they intermingle.
Yeah, well, we took over my kid's room basically. She hasn't been here in almost a year now, well, probably about a year now because of the pandemic. So, you know, with her going to school, her mom and stepdad being in, I don't want, they're not frontline workers, but they're, you know, they work in that field. Like the medical field. So we're like, with Karina being immunocompromised, it's probably not a good idea. And they agreed. Yeah. So she hasn't been here in like a year. So we kind of took over her room in the meantime. So I'm trying to do my best to make that into both a bedroom that coexists with my stuff.
Understood.
And so now I've basically got two rooms. I feel bad because Karina feels like she's got no space here. Like, understandable, because like I lived here and by myself for the longest time, and then she moves in. It's like, oh, now we have to our stuff has to coexist. So I'm hoping I can maybe clear some room out for her too, so she can, you know, feel more at home than she does. But yeah, I mean, like we basically took over that room, so that's full of like all the Living Brain Dead merch is in there, all the packaging stuff to send out the Living Brain Dead merch is in there. All my guitars are in there, except for these two, and my NBA Jam's in there, and I'm just like, how did I get so much shit?
Disposable income, that's what it's called, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know how disposable. Like Brian sent me a link last night. He says, oh, look, the Nativity in Black Black Sabbath tribute album is being repressed. It's like, oh, that's awesome, except it's $40 and I don't have $40 right now because I just spent $1,500 at the vet over the past like 2 weeks. And then still bought more shit to do things you might not know. I bought new lights.
Oh, more lights, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, so I was getting a shadow, and that's like very bad when you're trying to do a green screen. Like, it came out fine because I ended up like, I really had to like readjust these lights to do it. So I'm like, if I just get dedicated lights just for this, it might work better. So I spent $100 on lights, and yeah. So I still got to pay my rent.
You should get a green suit so that way you can CGI yourself into the Hulk and do a show that way.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I watch a channel called Fact Fiend with a guy named Carl Smallwood, and he does his like in front of a green screen, and he does it intentionally, like he makes it like look intentionally shitty. But he went out and he got some tattoos at one point, and he's got some green in his tattoos, so you can just see right through his arm. It's in just various spots on his arm, you can see right through. It's like, yeah, I now I know not to get any green tattoos going forward if I'm doing green screen stuff. So,
or you're just stuck with long sleeves, and that sounds miserable.
Yeah, especially it's like super warm in this room all the time. Like, I had the window open the other day. It was like 40 degrees out. I'm like, I'm opening the window. It's freaking hot in here. So open the window.
Now the kitchen.
Now today it's like 66 degrees, and I'm just like, yeah, I don't feel like opening the window. Just because I got to reach over shit to open the window. I'm like, fuck it. I got a show to do. If there's little kids yelling outside, I don't want the damn window open. I thought about doing the show outside, and I'm like, damn, there's kids all over this neighborhood. One, I don't want to swear in front of all these kids because I've gotten yelled at for that before. And two, I don't want these kids all picking up in my microphone while I'm trying to do a show because that's happened before too.
You've gotten yelled at in your neighborhood for swearing?
Yeah.
I think I need to know this story.
Wait, hold on. I think I actually have a clip. Let me see if I can find it here.
A clip?
Can you guys stop swearing? I have children over here. Next time you swear, I'm gonna call a cop.
Yeah, I have a clip.
Okay, I've actually heard that before. I didn't realize that's what that was.
It was the old. That was our old Board Wrestling fan intro. But it comes from an episode of the ThinkSoJoE show where we're all outside, and my internet just dropped for a second, and it's right back up. Okay, anyway. But yeah, we're all outside. It's me, it's Brian, and it's XM Priory's Dan Twist, and we're just sitting there doing our show, and the little neighbor brats who don't live there anymore, they're just hanging over their porch, like paying attention to what we're doing instead of, minding their own damn business. And then the, hick dad comes out like, you guys stop swearing, I got kids over here. Like, your kids swear more than we do, dude. But what are you gonna do? Like, okay. And we're, Brian and I are just looking at the guy, and Dan's like, yes, sir. Sorry, sir. We'll be more respectful, sir. Okay, maybe not like that, but I'm going to get some hate tweets later, or Facebook messages or texts or something out of him. Like, I did not. But yeah, like that's why I don't really do the show outside anymore. But like the next week we did the show outside, and I just put up like a shower curtain on that side of the porch so the kids couldn't see what was going on, like hoping like, okay, if they're like listening in on what we're doing, that's their own damn fault. Because we obviously are trying to do what we can to stop them from paying any attention to us. Like, I mean, there wasn't much more, like, what are we supposed to do? Like, the three of us in this tiny ass room in the middle of summer was not comfortable. I mean, we've done it, but it was not comfortable. So it was nice to like go out on the porch and do the show. And it was, back before we were doing video and all that. So I didn't have to worry about making anything else besides, a portable rig, which I set up that's back when I had the Blue Yeti, which was perfect for that because we could all sit around a table and use the 360 mode.
Nice.
So that was like, that was great to have a Blue Yeti for. Now everything I got is like I can move everything pretty easily to do a portable kind of deal. So, but now it's like I don't really want to, like, there's a ton of kids on this street. I don't want to go out and do the show outside.
I enjoy my Blue Yeti because it was cheap.
Yeah. You can get good deals on those things, man. You can get good deals, and if you can make them sound good, they're more than useful for anything you want to do. Like I'm
still technically in novice mode.
Well, somebody the other day on wrestling Twitter was calling out somebody else, which I think it was, they were calling out Kevin Kelly, who used to be like an announcer for WWE. I think it was him. They were calling him out and saying, oh, you've been doing this podcast for 2 years and you're still using a Blue Yeti and you call yourself a professional? And I just went on like this Twitter rant, and I'm just like, look, if the mic works for him, who cares? Like I myself probably wouldn't use a Blue Yeti, but that's because I don't like the way it sounds with my voice. I've used one before. I couldn't get it to sound the way I like with, the Rode microphones I use or anything like that. But that's my preference. That's how I hear it. That's how I prefer to have an XLR mic and whatever. Like, I get that, it's supposed to be unprofessional to use a USB mic, but if that's what you got, who cares? I started podcasting on the Rock Band microphone that I got when I bought Rock Band for Xbox. Like, who cares? Use what you got.
And every grouping has its toxic elements.
Yeah. I mean, for the longest time, I used for the podcast, I was using my my vocal mic that I used in the band. That was my mic, and then the other mics were Radio Shack karaoke mics. So when I would have co-hosts or guests or whatever, they're talking into Radio Shack karaoke mics, and it's plugged into like the cheapest mixer you could buy at Radio Shack, which didn't have XLRs. It just had like the quarter-inch jacks. So I'm using a Shure, SM57 and 3 Radio Shack karaoke mics to do a podcast. And I used that for like a year or two before I upgraded. Like, who cares? If that's what you got, it's what you got. And if it works for you, good. So like
in high school, I called that setup a PA system.
Yeah, right, exactly. But I mean, who cares what you use as long as it sounds good, as long as I can understand what you're saying. You know what I mean? For like, especially for a podcast. Like, there are people using, I'm sure, far worse microphones than a Blue Yeti to do a podcast.
Oh, yeah.
So, whatever, if it works, it works. Don't give people shit because they're using what you might consider inferior equipment. And, like, I get the Blue Yeti's not the mic of choice for a lot of people, but if it's what you got and it works for you, who cares, right? All right, we got some music to play. I got a piece of paper right here with information written down. This next song is from Lexxi Raine. This first song, I should say, and she's heading back to the UK this week. She's mostly been up to doing schoolwork and promo for her music here for this particular song, Joker. And snuggling with her pup. And she's gotten accepted to a few UK festivals in September. So congratulations to Lexxi Raine. And this next song is called Joker on all WNY ThinkSoJoE show.
I'm a joker again. You made a fool out of me. Wish that I could have seen this coming on. Just like everyone else, I gotta laugh at myself, 'cause I believe when you said you won't hurt me, won't desert me, you'll stick by my side. So yeah, you got me soul and body. Why'd you say goodbye? So thank you for wasting my time. My trust issues stem from your lies. Now the face that you see isn't who I really am. I lost all of my sense of what is real, and I'm playing pretend, keeping telling her friends what they wanna hear. Like, yeah, he wants me, we've been talking, he's still in my life. When you're just a stranger, gone forever, curse my lack of pride. So thank you for wasting my time. My trust issues stem from your lies. Oh, why do you play me easy like a six-string? I wrote beautiful chords, but you turned the minor by design. You're so cold, you push a hold onto hope you never asked for, and I'm sorry you're in every song I write. Is it too late to erase you from each night? So thank you for wasting my time.
All right, Lexxi Raine, that song called Joker on all WNY ThinkSoJoE show.
Woo!
Been seeing her promote
I like that one.
Yeah, I've been seeing her promote that all week, and I haven't listened to it, like, just knowing that I was going to end up playing it probably on the show. So I tend to do that. I tend to, like, I see bands, like, promoting music, and then I remember them, like, when Karina's like, here's what we're playing on the show this week. Like, oh, okay, yeah, hey, I saw a promo for that, and I just never bothered to listen to it.
It shows sometimes, Joe. It shows.
I make up for it by buying merch and wearing it on things you might not know. So I actually reached out. I put out a post. I said, I need to acquire more band shirts. So if anybody wants to contribute, drop your merch links below. And of course, this 60-year-old dude who's still an internet troll for some reason goes, oh, you that's a lot of words for you want free stuff. I'm like, I asked for merch links. I'm asking so I can buy stuff. And I have, I'm sure much to Karina's chagrin, bought a couple of new shirts over the last couple of days. So hopefully they'll get here before I have to shoot new things you might not know, because I think I have like one band shirt I haven't worn yet, local band shirt.
Wait. Are you supposed to be on like a t-shirt embargo or something?
No, I kind of the first video I did, which was the truth about Truth or Consequences, New Mexico. I wore a Dirty Smile t-shirt, which shout out to Megan Brown. We're playing Grosh later on in the show, and she was the front person for Dirty Smile. And so I'm wearing a Dirty Smile shirt, and Scott Leffler goes, are you just going to wear a local band t-shirt every week? Like, I wasn't planning on it, but maybe. And then I just started, so I started wearing local band shirts every week, and I would put, like, in the, at the end of the video, like, now I got the little animated, like, lower third credits, but I used to put just a, static screen at the end of the video where it would say, it would basically have a disclaimer of, like, I don't claim any images or anything, like, none of this is mine, which I probably should put back in, because I haven't, I always credit all the images if they're not public domain, even if I don't have to. But I would add in, like, oh, check out this band. Check out whatever band is on my t-shirt. So now in the lower third credits, it goes, music by Brian Muller and script by, in all these upcoming episodes, by Kevin McGee, and this week's band t-shirt. And you can't even see the shirt, really, because it's like, you get me from this angle, and like, you can't even see, like, I'm wearing a Music is Art t-shirt. You can't even see any of it from, like, from here up. So, like, it probably doesn't even matter in the long run. So I'm trying to get, like, if I see any bands that have shirts with, like, the logo, like, up here somewhere where it might actually get in the frame, like, you could, the Living Brain Dead t-shirt I wore in this past video, like, the logo starts up here, which I always hated, but it's like, hey, it's perfect for these videos.
Well, for this specific frame we're looking at now, if you lower that camera just like a couple centimeters, you'd probably get most of the shirt.
Yeah, and the camera is just slightly lower than it is here when I do the things you might not know.
Fuck me. What do I know?
And it's a little further, and it's a little further back. So I mean, it'll get in. Like, you could barely see the top of the Music is Art. No, it's my Stamps t-shirt. I thought I was wearing Music is Art today. I don't even know what I'm wearing. How about that?
I'm the one who smoked before the show. Jesus.
You got a Ghostbusters shirt on there. Was that you wore that during the photo shoot, didn't you? When we did the Falls Count Anywhere, and I'm like, oh shit, the Ghostbusters logo. I need to take this out of here.
Yeah. Well, this is actually a combo, like, Ghostbusters Supernatural thing.
Yeah. That's cool. Yeah, I just had the Buffalo Sabres, like the bee with the saber going through it from the 90s, and I'm just like, let me like, I need to edit this out, and then it caused a slight delay in getting the artwork done. Like, I had to, like, I realized it as soon as I sent it, and, like, so the next day they're like, okay, yeah, we'll use the resubmitted artwork.
So next time we know, no trademarked logos.
Yeah. Like the only thing I'm looking at the album cover right now, the only thing I can see is the poop emoji on my trolls shit fuck 'em shirt.
Yeah, that one's pretty clear. I'm sure anybody trying to study that cover too closely for whatever reason definitely came across that. No problem. It's like Where's Waldo, but you always win.
Like, why has he got a poop emoji on his shirt? Karina's calling me out in the YouTube comments for not knowing what I'm wearing. I wore the Music's Art shirt yesterday. I thought I got confused as to what day it was, I guess. I don't know. I put a shirt on. I never know what I'm wearing unless I'm like specifically wearing a shirt for a reason. Like when I do the things you might not know videos, I have like 3 or 4 shirts just laying around over here. Like, okay, what am I wearing in the next video? Okay, I'm done with that video. Got to change my shirt again. Because it's much easier to just have the shirts in here than try and leave the room when I'm set up for recording those videos.
I always know what I'm wearing. I am way too vain.
Yeah, I just have so many t-shirts, I just can't keep track of even the one that happens to be. Karina says, "Dork, we're lucky you're wearing pants." They don't know that.
Are you?
I am. But nobody knows. You don't see me from here up. You don't know.
Are they plaid pajama pants?
They're not plaid pajama. I'm wearing jeans today.
Oh, wow. I took my jeans off specifically for this. I'm wearing sweatpants. I wanted to be comfortable.
No, I typically get dressed to do the show. Because I'm not going anywhere anymore. So it's like I need an excuse to like put on outside clothes. So it's like, oh, hey, show's coming up. Got to get dressed and get all spiffied up. Like, it's the only time I actually, like, shave and, like, put on beard oil and all that fun crap. So.
Wow. I put in way less effort than that.
Well, you were busy making your space look good, as we discussed before
That's
the
correct.
show. So, I don't know. I always tell people, like, asking me to do anything on a Wednesday is a lost cause. Like asking me to do anything, like, oh, can you do this revision for me in like the next hour? Like, nope, can't. Sorry, studio set up for the podcast. I won't be in until after the show. Like my buddy texted me last week. It was his birthday. I had actually texted him earlier in the day to wish him happy birthday, and then he texted me later in the day like, hey, can I call you? And I like never got back to him until I think I called him like Saturday. While I was like editing some of the things you might not know stuff, like, hey, I just realized I never got back to you. How you doing? But like, I just, this show is my excuse to not do anything for anybody on a Wednesday. Like, nope, too busy. Gotta get ready to do the show. And like, I think I've convinced myself of that. Like I get up early, like 11:30. That's early for me. I get up, but I get up like hours before the show, and I shower and I shave and I put on beard oil and I get dressed, and then I'm just kind of sitting around like, and then I program the music and shit, and then I'm just kind of sitting around like, what do I do now? I got nothing to do until 6 o'clock.
Clean something, motherfucker.
Yeah.
You got time to lean. You got time to fucking clean.
So my friend that I was talking about, it was his birthday. Yes, I do wake up early because Karina is loud. That's what she says in the chat. But my buddy is he's a former coworker, and I said that to him one time. He was just leaning, and I'm like, man, if you got time to lean, you got time to clean. And I said it like jokingly because my goal when I was working for somebody else was to do as little work as possible for as much money as I possibly could get. And, but I'm just like, man, you got time to lean, you got time to clean. And I was joking with my boss, my manager the next morning, who used to work retail and work, grocery and all that. Like, because that's the most common thing you hear when you work in those kind of things.
It's like a trauma response at this point.
Yeah. Well, you used to manage retail, right? So you were the guy saying that.
Yeah. The
Did that
kids
need a
that
trigger
worked for me
warning?
did not like me. No, you're all good. No, I was that asshole manager. I was.
Yeah.
No shame. No shame. I had a goddamn store to run like a goddamn adult. I
Exactly.
don't got time for your shit. Go clean something.
Exactly. Like, you were given a responsibility, so you're going to do what you can to uphold that responsibility, and that's how work should work. I always looked at work like, okay, this is the 8 hours a day that's not mine. When I'm here, I'm supposed to be doing whatever, this guy tells me I'm supposed to be doing. Maybe early, but that was like early on, and then like as I got older, I'm just like, yeah, I'm not doing shit unless I have to.
I get your logic there now.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
At first I was like, no, that's not how it should work.
No. My boss, the owner of the last place I worked before I started working on my own, he sold the place and he was moving, and I was told, oh, we're having a going away party for him. So I went up to Niagara Falls, and I went to go see him at this, like, surprise him at his going away party, which I don't even know if he knew he was having the going away party, let alone me being there. So I showed, and I'm telling him, I'm like, man, my goal was always to do as little work as possible for as much money. So 9 times out of 10, I had this chair right in the doorway between the two cameras. So you're getting the back of my head, so it looks like I'm just sitting there waiting for somebody to come in. But you're not getting the front of me where I'm sound asleep. And the door wakes me up.
That was a one-way ticket off my schedule.
Sleeping?
Everything that you just said.
Everything.
Like,
Well, yeah. And it should
individually
be.
and together.
It should be. That's why you got to do it. That's why you got to do it so you don't get caught. So that was my, and I was working overnights, and it was dead. And like, what else am I supposed to do? Clean, right?
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could have fucking cleaned.
My
you got
boss,
time to sleep. You got time to sweep.
That works. Well, my boss worked an overnight once, and the next time he saw me, he said, "Oh, I don't know how you do it." I'm like, "Yeah, I barely do." Like, yeah, just, but that's like the Kevin Nash influence on me is to do as little work as little work for as much money. So that's and it worked for me for a long time, and then I started doing voiceover, and I'm just like, man, I don't have time to do this job that I barely do. Karina says, it's too bad you aren't here. She's decorating cookies.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, you're too far away.
Which ones are you making? I want to know. Just for scientific reasons.
Yeah, I don't know what she's doing, so she'll have to answer in the chat when she gets a second. Yeah, you've been away for a while. When's the last time you were here in Western New York?
On the record or off the record?
Let's say
kidding.
Let's say on the record. Yeah.
We were. Well, I shouldn't say we. Was it we? Or was it just me? Shit, I don't even remember now. It was like November.
Oh wow. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Let me get back to you on that one, because time is a construct, and in my brain it all bleeds together.
We need to get you back here and get some Living Brain Dead live streams going again. Just get Living Brain Dead going again. We've kind of been sitting on the sidelines since that last live stream, basically. We wrote a few songs, and then it's like, oh, look, COVID numbers are spiking again. Karina just...
Plus seasonal depression.
True. Karina decorated lemon stars, sugar cookies, and she's about to dip some shortbread shamrocks.
Oh, shit.
Mm-hmm.
Shortbread shamrocks.
Shortbread shamrocks, yes.
I mean, you had me sold with shortbread. Like,
Right.
I don't know what the Shamrock's about. Obviously, it's a St. Patrick's Day thing
Right.
because, March.
That's a week from today.
Oh, fuck, is it?
Yeah, that's a week from today.
It's a time period that I purposefully forget.
The only reason I know that St. Patrick's Day is March 17th was I went to WrestleMania in Toronto back in 2002. And it happened to be on St. Patrick's Day. So to walk from my hotel, which was on Yonge Street, to walk from my hotel to the, I think we did the Hockey Hall of Fame and then WrestleMania. But to do that was like, we had to walk through the Toronto St. Patrick's Day parade. So, yeah, that was fun.
Karina, just message them to me. I'll see them when I'm done.
Yeah.
Shit, I'll probably see them now. I got my laptop open.
And our old buddy Mark wants us to know that Flitzer, his bird, loves lemon cookies.
Solid.
Yeah. Kind of wish like shows were a thing and that I had one coming up so I could be like, oh, Mark, just come to the show and Karina will be there selling cookies. And unfortunately,
Nikki got us lemon bars from Wegmans today, and I'm really goddamn excited about it.
Cool. Yeah, Karina just came home with a shit ton of snacks the other day. Just like she spent the weekend at her mom's and she comes home, she's just like, I got a lot of stuff, and there's like 4 or 5 like of the paper bags with just snacks.
Sounds like a dream come true.
Yeah. Didn't have any actual food, but she did have actual food. She's gonna make a pot roast. So
who says that's not actual food? Classist.
I changed what I reevaluated what I said, and I said she did bring home actual food. Because I don't want to sit here.
I got to get my joke in anyway.
Yeah.
I got a quota, damn it.
She says there's so much fucking food. Yeah, her mom always sends her home with tons of food, so I will retract my statement that she brought home all snacks and no food.
Karina, I also like nuts, just so we're clear.
I knew I should have programmed that rim shot on this section of the board.
You fucked up.
I did. Nope, I've got a cheer, I've got a belch, and I've got game show buzzers. I don't know why I have the game show buzzers. I just programmed them like, yeah, these will come in handy at some point.
You never know.
Yeah. I don't know.
I'm kind of upset that I don't have a Laura in the chat for my debut tonight.
Yeah, I'm very surprised to not see Laura. She hasn't been on my Twitch streams either. Surprisingly.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I don't know where she disappeared to. I think she said.
Are you guys in a fight?
No, she said something about me on Twitch, and I replied on Twitter, and I replied, and that was the last I've heard of Laura. I hope she's okay. Now that you mention it, when is the last time I heard from Laura? Jeez, now I gotta scroll through Twitter.
I gave you anxiety.
Well, now I'm worried about Laura. I haven't heard from her. She obviously, March 3rd, a week ago, she said, breaking news that I quit the ThinkSoJoE show, and she wanted to call a guy named Corey, who used to host a show called Corey's Comments on All WNY. I don't know where he's been, but she wanted him to replace me on this show. She wants everybody to replace me on this show. She wants Brian to replace me. She wants Jasmine to replace me. She wants if she were here, she'd be calling for you to replace me and for you to host with Karina next week.
What if I just hosted with Jasmine?
There you go. You guys could pull that off. Jasmine's here enough. We could schedule a time and get her in here and set her up to do a podcast with you.
Nah, I think I'm good on that. I don't. That's a lot more responsibility than I want. You can have the responsibility. I'll just be on the zone.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
So today is Mario Day. It's March 10th, so it's MAR10, and it looks like Mario. So Nintendo has fully embraced that, and it is Mario Day.
They're really reaching for these days at this point. Like,
Yeah.
it's big. Is QAnon doing this? Like,
I don't. I mean, it's one of those. It's like the Star Wars Day, like May the 4th, where like it just started as some guy on Twitter said it, and then the company is like, "Oh, hey, that's a good marketing tool," and so Nintendo has run with it, and just like Disney ran with Star Wars Day being May the 4th.
yeah, but May the 4th makes sense. Like, it's already there. It's May the 4th.
Sure.
Like for that Mario thing, you have to actively remove letters from March. Too much work already.
But I mean, if you're abbreviating it, it's Mar 10. And Danielle from Janie Crash and the Tallmans in the Facebook comments, and she posted Mario Day, Mar 10 Day.
Boo.
I don't know. I'll be here with my Switch later on playing Mario, I'm sure. Not on Twitch tonight, but
What are Mario and Luigi's pants made of?
denim.
You motherfucker.
Yeah, I know that one.
God, you can't let me have it. You can't let. You bring me on the show just to embarrass me.
I didn't bring you on the show to embarrass you. I brought you on the show so I'm not embarrassing myself sitting here for 2 hours trying to come up with content to talk about.
Well, I mean, Karina's trying to tell you that it's events time.
Yeah, I have events written down somewhere. Here they are, right here. I got index cards. From the 9th through the 14th, I think that's supposed to say Shutdown Showcase Round 2, Week 5. That's going on. I don't have links to any of these. The Danielle Nicole Band live at Sportsman's. That's going on Friday. Saturday is Finnegan's Punch at the Barrel Factory. That's at 12. Today is Medieval to Metal. Friday Night at the Cave, presented by New York State Music. That's Friday, of course. Also Friday, Tim Britt live at Asteria. Friday, Little Mountain Band at Penny Lane in Clarence. Saturday is AJ Tetzlaff at Brownies. And Saturday, Onyx presents The Underground featuring Kodiak, and that one is online. So if you're interested in any of that, just hit rewind on your Twitch or YouTube or Facebook or whatever, and then go look for them on the Facebook events. I'm getting applauded.
That's the seal of approval.
Seal of approval. I got you. I can't do it in camera. Like, oh, got you. Okay. A round of applause. I'm getting a round of applause. Like fucking, I learned about that in like fucking Dare back in elementary school.
Same. Who was your Dare officer?
Officer Bax.
We had Officer Dan, who also went to my church, so I had an in.
Oh, there are more events. She said she feels like there's 2 cards. I read off of 2 cards, but one has events on the back. Okay,
you fucked up again.
Saturday, Grace Stumberg solo show at Big Easy. Saturday, Grosh at Sportsman's. Saturday, Analog Kids rocks the saloon. Saturday, 9-year anniversary fundraiser for Earth House. Thursday, Grace Stumberg Lodge on the Green. And Sunday, Grace Stumberg Murph's Warsaw Grill. We have uber talented people in Western New York named Grace. we definitely do. We've got Grace from Grosh, and we've got Grace Stumberg, both fantastic artists. And I still...
Grace from Muddle,
yes. I still want to see Devin from the Dreadnecks in a guitar battle with Grace from Grosh. I think that would just be epic. I could sit there and listen to those two play guitar all day. Like, the other podcast on this network, they do a battle of the bassists. Let's do a battle of the guitarists. I'd love to do it when we're able to get back out and do these things again. And just like that round 1 matchup is Devin from the Dreadnecks and Grace from Grosh. It would be just, I just want to see that battle.
Match?
Yeah. And that's been my dream match since a couple of years ago. Music is Art. I saw the Dreadnecks and Grosh like back to back. Yes, I got all the events. Karina says her dare officer was Deputy Wydell, and he taught her how to do drugs, or taught her to do drugs. Not necessarily how to do drugs, but to do them.
I learned a lot about drugs the wrong way in Dare.
Well, and that's a huge criticism of Dare as a program, was that it was like introducing kids to drugs instead of like it was having the opposite effect of what it was intended to do. So yeah, Western New York Guitar God Tournament. I would love to just put something like that on and just get all the best guitar players. I would not be in it for damn sure, but
No, you don't think so?
No.
No.
You're in a band with me. You should know these things. You should know I'm not the best guitar player out there. I'd put Brian out there before me, for sure. Anyway, so our friends in Janie Crash and the Tall Men sent some music over, and this is under the name of Thundercrash.
Thundercrash!
It is
wrong.
Yeah, unrelated, heavier stuff to Janie Crash and the Tall Men. It's their other project, is what they told me in the email. Non-music stuff has been keeping them busy, and they are working on a new Janie Crash CD, which I'm super excited about. I miss my friends in Janie Crash and the Tall Men. I saw Danielle in the Facebook chat over there. I miss you guys. Can't wait to see you again, and hopefully once everything opens up, we'll be able to get you guys out here, or we'll be able to get out there, or something, and play on a show together. But this is Thundercrash, and this song is called I Can Fly on All WNY, the ThinkSoJoE Show. All right, Janie Crash and the Tall Man. No, excuse me, Thundercrash. The other project of Janie Crash and the Tall Man. That song was killer. Danielle tells
Thundercrash is a cool name too.
Yeah, Danielle tells us it came from a live jam that they did. And I dig it. Thundercrash is a cool name. Janie Crash and the Tall Man is also a cool name, but you have to go see them and let them explain it to you. So
Got it. Understood. Well, I mean, have it your way. We'll play with them at some point, right?
I would.
I'm sure I'll get that explanation.
Yeah, they are one of my. They are one of the bands that I really enjoy having. Doing shows with and putting on my events and things like that. They actually it's I think the anniversary of one of like the worst events I ever put on is coming up. They have and Janie Crash and the Tall Men missed that event, which kickstarted the whole thing being just awful. They had a tendency to have cars break down on them and not make events. Not intentionally. They always felt so bad about it, and I'm just like, guys, it's okay. Like, I understand things happen, And we did this event. It was on a Tuesday night at Good Bar, and they couldn't make it. One of the other bands was just like, their guitar player was like, "Oh, I got in a car accident. I can't play, guys." And so, yeah, that whole night was a disaster, but. It was still cool because I had Mindy Davey on that show and I had BD2 on that show. And so it was still kind of fun, regardless of the lack of a turnout or two of the bands not actually performing. But that's neither here nor there. Anyway.
Well, speaking of shows, we have another anniversary coming up.
Yeah. The Head PE?
Yep.
Yeah. Which was the last show we played before everything shut down.
Yep, we were able to squeeze one more out somehow.
Yeah, well, the night we played was like the first night they found cases in Western New York. And it's
they were shutting stuff down before then. Though.
Yeah.
We were just kind of lucky.
Yeah, I think we were able to do like 50% capacity that night, and it was just, like the place still looked full. So it was still cool because like we're still opening for Head PE. There's still people here. And just,
it was a good show.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Head PE was really good. I was kind of bummed because we were supposed to have our CDs by then, and we hadn't gotten them. They were like in Cheektowaga at the sorting facility or whatever, and we're just like, yeah, our CDs are like 20 minutes away from here, but we don't have them. So if you want download cards, I got those. But yeah, so the anniversary of that show, the anniversary of the album, that's all coming up this week. We're not doing anything really to celebrate it. We're just like, hey, look what we did a year ago.
What's to do?
Yeah, right. But I did, I'm just looking at all my memories over the past week, and it's like, oh, look, the last WWE show I went to was a year ago. Oh, look, the last NHL game I went to was a year ago. Oh, look, the last show I played was a year ago. Like, I miss all these things. Well, not so much the WWE stuff, but or really the Sabres games, watching them this season, but which they're opening back up for, I think, what is like 10% capacity or something like that, starting later this month. And I'm just like,
the arena.
Yeah, I'm just like, I really don't want to go. Like Madison Square Garden already opened up. For fans, so the Sabres have played like at MSG against the Rangers with fans in attendance, and it's like I'm watching that game. And it's like, okay, it looks like they're spread out enough, and like it would be kind of safe. But I really like maybe if the team was doing better, I'd be more interested in like risking my health to go see them.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, to be fair, the last time I went to see them, they were still doing terrible, and it was like, well. And it was still kind of a risk to my health because this was a growing concern at the time. It was literally the last game they played before everything got shut down. So it was like, I miss going to hockey games, but at the same time, I kind of want to not get Karina sick.
Yeah, that's important.
Yeah.
So what's the arena called now? What sponsor are they on?
It is the KeyBank Center.
Oh, it's still the KeyBank Center. Spectrum didn't swoop in on that yet?
Nope, they're the KeyBank Center down there.
Okay.
And then, of course, the stadium out here in Orchard Park is still Bills Stadium, because that's a creative name.
Why does it need a creative name? That's where the Bills play. It's the Bills Stadium.
That's true, I guess. I guess that's fair enough. Yeah, I kind of, but I miss being able to just do things like, randomly stumble upon a hockey game, going to buy concert tickets and just end up at a hockey game. Like, that's happened to me before. I miss doing stuff like that. Karina can vouch for that. I'm on my way
missing out on the randomness of life.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I was on my way to buy Aquabats tickets, and I happened to end up at a hockey game. I was on Facebook, like, on the bus on the way to get my Aquabats tickets, because I went to the box office to buy them, save on fees, and it was just like, oh, this game between the Sabres prospects and the Penguins prospects is about to start at what do you call it down there, the Harbor Center. I'm like, is this a thing I can go to? And they're like, yeah, it's like $10. I'm like, okay, cool. So I just like walked into the Harbor Center, like, I want to watch the game. They're like, okay, $10. And I was sitting there with a Living Brain Dead hoodie on, so you could see the back of my hoodie if you were watching it on the stream, which was just great.
Nice.
But yeah, this I miss just being able to just randomly go places. Instead of like everything I do is like I have to carefully plan this out. So, hopefully
soon
with all these vaccines rolling out, you got 3 of them out now. So it's just
we're looking good for probably mid to late summer.
Yeah,
hopefully.
Yeah. Live Nation, I think, is saying like, oh, we're prepared to have a summer concert season, like half of a summer concert season anyway. So I'm hopeful. I technically have Guns N' Roses tickets for July. So I'm hopeful that the Smashing Pumpkins are still going to be on that show too, because I was excited about that. About seeing them, because I never saw them before. I'm not the biggest fan, but I don't dislike them either. So I was kind of looking forward to Smashing Pumpkins and Guns N' Roses, and then all of a sudden it's like, yeah, no, Canada's closed. Go away.
I haven't enjoyed the Pumpkins since like 99, 2000.
I think Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness was like the last time I actually liked the Pumpkins. But I got
through the 2 albums after that.
I think was the next one was like Adore, right? And I saw some of the videos from that. I'm like, nah, not for me. I think maybe older me would appreciate that more.
I actually just listened to it the other day. Yeah, no, like it's more because like so much of Melancholy, there are so many heavy songs on that. Like they had like the more chill songs, but it was more on the heavy side throughout both discs. And then Adore, it was like they were trying to meld their mellow songs with like trip hop, and I was just like, I know what you're doing, and it's not working.
Karina says she never enjoyed the fucking Pumpkins. Of
course you didn't.
I think I liked their heavier stuff, and I think that's why I liked them up until that album. And but I mean, like, I never liked the song 33, but as I got older, it's like, oh man, I really like this song now. So I think, younger me was just so like no, I'm fucking metal. I like songs that rock. And now older me is like, what the fuck was wrong with me back then?
I'm currently going through the same thing.
Yeah, like why didn't I appreciate this music when I was younger? Like I get to a point where I'll buy records and I'll be like, my mom would like this, and I'll text whatever I'm listening to my mom and be like, Ma, look what I'm listening to. And I love that album. It's a great album. Like I got the Garth Brooks like collection up on my shelf here now. I would have never 90s me would have never been like, I want to listen to Garth Brooks. Now I'm just like, ooh, $40 Garth Brooks box set. Yeah, I'm in. I covered a Garth Brooks song with my last band, so that was, and that was my doing. I'm like, hey, what'd be cool is do a metal version of the Thunder Rolls. That was
How'd that go?
It went over like the end of AEW Revolution the other day. But
A sparkle fart?
yeah, it didn't. We stopped playing it after a little while because nobody was reacting to it. So it's like, okay, I guess we're not doing that one anymore. I don't know. I liked it.
Sounds like something Five Finger Death Punch would do.
I don't know. I never got into them at all.
That's because they suck.
Yeah.
They're terrible. It's shit.
They did a cover of Mama Said Knock You Out. That's like the only song I know by them.
What? When?
I don't know. It was a while ago. I always thought it would have been a good theme song for the Big Show, like their version of that song. Not saying it was good or anything. I'm just saying like I thought it would have fit him perfectly. But yeah, I never got in. I never really listened to them much. I kind of stopped listening to music in general, like new music in general, around like the mid 2000s. And then I got back, and now I'm like catching up. I mean, I guess not anything past. I'm catching up on music that I've like either dismissed or completely missed out on. Especially now that I've started collecting vinyl, I'm just like, I'll watch a TV show and they'll have a music, like a guest star who comes from the world of music. And I'm like, who the fuck is Jackson Brown? And then I'll just buy his album at random.
I've been going and revisiting back catalogs of bands that I kind of liked back in the day, but ignored at the same time. Like Toadies and Collective Soul, like I've been even listening to their most recent stuff and all of it's phenomenal. But like when it comes to like newer bands, if you look like me, which is kind of funny considering we're a band full of like 30 something white guys, but if you look like me, you probably don't have much else to say that's going to interest me. So if you look like me, I'm probably not listening to you if you're new. Local bands excluded, because there's a bunch of local bands in Buffalo that I still loved.
Yeah, I've gotten kind of in the same vein of like, here's a band. Like I've been trying to listen to bands that like I know one song by, or like I've heard of but never really listened to, or never really paid that much attention to. So like, I bought the first Suicidal Tendencies record, and I bought the first like Fugazi record, and like the first Minor Threat record, and like all these bands that like I've heard of and never really listened to. Like I've got a few Less Than Jake records now. I never really got much into them until a few years ago, to a point where I went to a show. It was Real Big Fish and Less Than Jake, and I was with my ex, and we were there for Real Big Fish, who were the first of the two bands to play. And then we're just standing there watching Less Than Jake, and I didn't know any of the songs. Like, they were good. I just wasn't, I never really listened to them. And she's just, at the town ballroom where they got the, you got the little like barricades to keep you from falling down. So she's just leaning up on one of, and they saw her and called us to come sit up on stage. And we like sat up on the stage on the drum riser with Less Than Jake. But since I've been with Karina, like she listens to them a lot. So I'm just like hearing a lot of these songs, and I'm just like, man, these guys are really good. Why have I never really given them a chance? And so now I've got a couple of their albums. Like they did a live stream a couple of months back, and they were like, we're going to give you, if you upgrade, you pay this much, you can watch live stream. If you pay this much, you get the live stream, you get a signed ticket to the virtual event, and a copy of the new record. And it was like, well, I want the new record. Let me get the new record. So that's, I just bought the new NoFX record. I never, I listened to NoFX back in the day. I just never really paid that much attention to them until, pretty much until we got into this band. And I was like, I want to start listening to more punk rock, like kind of stuff that I should be listening to being in a punk band, and that should be kind of influencing what I'm doing.
You did it backwards.
I did, yeah. I got into the band first and then listened to the influences. Yeah. Which is to say the same about the Misfits. Honestly, like I now own like the 2 Misfits greatest hits albums, and like I never really listened to them much before that. Like I
mean, I don't begrudge anybody that. Like, Misfits are an acquired taste.
Yeah, I kind of like when we started the band, my whole idea was let's start with Where Eagles Dare by the Misfits, because I had basically been playing that song in XM Priory because it's the same chord progression as their songs Suck, which they'll be the first ones to tell you, so that's not me making fun of them or anything. Like, they're the ones that told me that. So I was like, you know, when I was practicing with XM Priory, I was playing basically this song, so let's just do this, because I thought, like, hey, this is like, you know, everybody knows this song, and apparently I was wrong, because Steve was like, man, I had to, you know, I can't find a good quality of that song to listen to learn how to play it. And then it's like, okay, no, there really isn't a good quality version of this song. But I got the 2, you know, I then went on to buy those greatest hits albums, but I you know, a lot of it is like I'll put on Spotify or something and I'll just let it randomly play. I'll just ask it to play like punk rock or whatever, and like I'll hear a song that I like and I'll be like, oh, what is that? And then I'll like buy an album by that band. So that's, you know, I've been trying to kind of expand my musical tastes that way. In I've recently really gotten into the band Masked Intruder because I bought one of their albums on vinyl when I saw them. And then I'm like, no, I need to get this other album by then. And then I got their first album, and then I'm like, okay, now I just got to get the second album. Like, okay, I got them all. Oh, no, wait, they have an EP. Let me get the EP. Okay, now I've got them. Oh, nope, they have this demo. I got to buy the demo. Oh, nope, now they have this Christmas album. I got to buy the Christmas album. So I kind of go nuts on some of these things. Just like if I start getting into a band, like I got the new NoFX album on pre-order, and I thought like, okay, the album comes out on the 26th. I'll get it sometime around then, and it still hasn't shipped.
Uh-oh, we're doing Joe versus shipping.
No. So no, they're blaming Fat Records is blaming COVID and saying that the all the NoFX vinyl is like delayed coming out. So like it's not going to ship till sometime this month. I've actually been perfectly okay with the way things are. Actually, not entirely okay with the way things are shipped. So we have auto ship on cat litter through PetSmart. So it's like, you know, they charge me every 3 weeks and they send 2 things of cat litter. And well, the last time one apparently got damaged in shipping, and FedEx is like, yeah, well, you know, don't worry, we'll talk to the distributor. We'll get another one shipped out. Well, apparently they didn't. So I contact PetSmart. I'm like, hey, this is what's going on. They send me a thing like, oh, do you want a refund or do you want it shipped? Like, I would like it shipped. And they're like, okay, yeah, we'll send you an email when it's ready to ship out. A couple of days later, do you want a refund or do you want it shipped? I already told you guys I want it shipped. And then I finally, like, you know, a little while later, I'm like, all right, what's going on? So I tweeted to PetSmart, like, I don't know what's up with your email customer service. And then the very next day, it's like, your order, your reshipment is shipping, but I had already skipped ahead to get the next shipment. So, and then that came today. There's one that's not in a box and one that's in a box. Because we get the like the you know, yellow tubs with the red lids, you know, the Tidy Cat or whatever. But one's in a box, one's not in a box. The one that's in a box is like broken, and there's like litter, like not a ton of it,
Gross.
but there's litter like out in the box. So, so somebody's wife just asked, "Who's that Henry Rollins looking guy?" So that would be Kevin over there.
That's Aaron.
Yes.
That's pissing match Aaron.
Yes. Okay. I knew it was somebody I've interviewed before. Get these names on YouTube, and I'm just like, yeah, I've talked to that guy before. But yeah, that was.
What's up, Aaron?
So yeah, that's my rant about ship. It was like one was like damaged. I didn't lose a ton out of it, but it was still like, why even bother put it in a box? Just slap a fucking label on it and bring it. No wonder the other one got damaged.
For you.
Huh?
Slow week for you.
Yeah, that is. I got a lot of shit. Well, I got a lot of stuff shipped this week. I got a huge. I know I'm not supposed to order from Amazon this week. I forgot and ordered these lights.
Oh, you fucked up.
Yeah, I did. But I got these lights for like half price, so I'm just like, yeah, okay, let me get these lights because I need them and they're cheap and I don't want to miss out on this deal. And then it's like, this item comes in packaging that may reveal what's inside. Do you want to, you can choose to put it in an Amazon box instead. So I'm like, yeah, let me do that. So I get this giant, like about the size of me, Amazon box for like a much, much smaller box inside that did not have anything indicating what was inside at all on the packaging. So it's like, okay, great. Now I got to figure out, I got to recycle this fucking box. That's like,
sounds like somebody in shipping receiving was being passive aggressive with you.
That's Amazon in a nutshell. Is like you order something and they give you ridiculously oversized packaging. Like if you order vinyl from them, they will pack the vinyl in a vinyl mailer, but then they will put it inside a box for no apparent reason. Like the thing you put it in the first place is meant to mail out records. You don't need to put it in another box.
Does that have the smiley branding on it though?
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
The record packaging doesn't, but I get what you're saying. You're saying they need to have the smiley branding on it?
Yeah, they gotta make sure that's visible.
Okay.
Wait, Aaron, I'm confused. Am I the Henry Rollins looking guy?
I don't know what Henry Rollins is looking like these days. So
me either. Like he's looking like Henry Rollins, just older, I guess.
I would imagine. I don't know. I don't think I look. I don't think I look much like Henry Rollins. And he's definitely seen the show
Seth
before.
Rollins.
So, yeah. He's definitely seen the show before, knows what I look like. So I think he's referring to you.
Well, shit. I don't know if it's a compliment or not, but I will assume it is and say thank you.
Anyways, we got another song to play here, and this is a song from Grosh, and they are playing at Sportsman's on Saturday. That's what my note says here. And this song is called Peace of Mind on all WNY. ThinkSoJoE Show.
More than a broken heart, more than these broken walls, looking for a place to start, with more meaning in it all. Whether or not you know, whether or not you don't. There are no right words to say,
That was Grosh on all WNY Think So Joe show.
I enjoyed that.
Grosh is just an amazing band. Karina and I think were at one of their first shows. They were playing with our friends who were then known as Wave the Flag at the Evening Star. It was actually like, I guess you could call it our first date. We kind of, she was like, do you want to go to this show with me at Evening Star? I'm like, how are we getting there? How are we getting back? And she, I'll cover Uber and I'll pay. Like, okay, cool. So we went to this, we just randomly, and I spent the night over at her mom's house. We just kind of hung out all night, and great show, except for that was the night Dennis, like, broke his leg on stage or whatever happened to his leg. Finish the show. He's like, give me a chair. They gave him a chair. He sat there. He finished the damn show.
That's what a boss does.
Damn right. So it is International Women's Day or National Women's Month, rather.
Yeah, I think day was yesterday.
Day was yesterday. It is Women's History Month is what it is. Yes.
Yes.
So if you haven't noticed by now, all of the music we are playing today is by very talented female artists.
Yes, I read your Facebook post earlier.
Feature very talented female artists. It was Karina's Facebook post. I didn't realize it until I sat down and started looking like, oh wait, what are we doing today? Okay, sure. Like, I'm down with that. Just, it
was Monday. Nikki reminded me that it was Monday. Yeah. We're terrible allies.
But we have some really badass women in our local music scene, as I'm sure is true of any music scene anywhere. But this is just a small sample what you're hearing today. So we've played Lexxi, Raine, we played Thundercrash, which has Danielle, who's in Janie Crash and the Tall Man. Grosh, which has Megan Brown and Grace. Her last name is escaping me, and I don't know why. But also we have Grace Stumberg coming up, and that's just a small sample. We've got other artists like Sarah Elizabeth is fantastic, and we've got we've got Sally, who's in a lot, plays in Over and Out. She plays the violin there. And we know a lot of them. This is just a small amount of them.
I enjoy the scene that Buffalo came up with when it comes to that. That's a weird way to put that. Whatever, you knew what I meant.
Yeah. Yeah, we got a lot of there are a lot of badass women in this music scene, and we appreciate you, and we definitely support you guys and want you to succeed just as much as we want to succeed. So
I'm cool with them succeeding in spite of
more than we succeed. Yeah, for sure. We were kind of just like, oh, cool, you want us on your show? Sure. Yeah, I don't know. We were just. I think this low level of success we've gotten is just like, wow, people are listening to our album.
We got a couple of eyes on us after the whole TST thing.
Yeah, for sure. I jumped into the chat on that while our bit was on, so.
Nice.
Kind of was like, hey, if you liked what you saw, here's our Bandcamp link. I got to mail out a T-shirt and a CD soon, sitting on my table over here behind me. I just mailed out a CD last week.
Play Ground Sweat next weekend or next Wednesday.
All right, Karina, write that down. I will forget, I'm sure. Here, I'll write it down now.
I will
bump
too.
The microphone while I'm doing. Helps if I have the pen ready to go. Ground Sweat. There we go.
Perfect.
All right, it's
done
written
and
down.
done.
It's written down. It's on my notepad here, my little Post-it notes. Yeah, I thought I
Had any fun? Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was segueing into a new topic.
Oh, go ahead. By all means.
I was just going to ask if you've gotten any interesting information-wise scripts for voiceover.
I barely pay any attention to what I read. Like,
they're just like, there's words, I say them, that's it.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, like, I'll you know, it's very rare that I remember what I read about after I read about it. Which is
Fair
why,
enough.
Which is why, like, when you know, I gave you that document full of things that I just basically copied out of a fact book. Just like, here's some things that might be interesting topics because I'm never gonna remember them after I finish reading this book. So I was just, as I'm going along, like, I'm highlighting them, and then when I got on the computer, I'm like, all right, I need to copy these into the document. Like, these might be interesting. I don't know.
Well, I should have written a lot of this down because I'm reading like a history correction book, I guess I'm in the middle of right now. And that's where I got the Helen Keller idea that I discussed with you from.
Right.
It's called Lies My Teacher Told Me.
Okay. That sounds...
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, it sounds good.
Yeah, it just basically goes through and corrects a whole bunch of incorrect shit from high school textbooks.
I think a lot of the problem for me now is, like, I get paid to read, so I don't really read outside of the booth. Like, outside of the booth, it's like, what's on TV?
If we're being real, I have not touched the book in a couple of weeks because, you know, I need to be motivated to do things. But I'm technically not lying when I say I'm in the middle of it.
It's true. It's true. For me, it was kind of like I got back to like I finally was like, I have everything I need to do more things you might not know videos. Why am I not doing them? And then I sat down, and my whole intent on Friday when I recorded these was, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to do a proof of concept just to, you know, make sure I can key out the green screen and whatever. And then I kind of and like, the reason that these new ones sound way better than the previous ones, like audio quality wise, is because my battery in my lapel mic was dead for when I went to go do these. And I'm like, I have batteries. I don't know where they are. I can't really get out of this room to go look for them. Screw it. I'm just going to put this mic right here. And I was using literally this mic. I just set it like on a portable stand on a stool in front of me. And I'm like, it's going to sound like shit, but I'm just trying to do a video quality thing anyway. And then it sounded good. And everything, I'm like, fuck, maybe I can actually get away with recording a couple of these today. And so when I did them, I'm like, okay, fuck, now that I'm done with these, I got to come up with topics for other videos. And so I went on and rejoined Amazon Kindle Unlimited, which is where you can, like, you know, you get a large selection of books you can read at any time for free with your subscription. So I'm like, all right, let me just get a fact book. And I read through this. It was like 854 facts or something like that. And I'm like going through, and I'm like, oh, that looks interesting, and highlighting it. And then the next day I'm like sitting here, just, you can't like copy and paste out of a Kindle book. So I'm sitting here just like typing up the document. But if you notice any punctuation errors, it's because I copied everything exactly as it was in the book.
I mean, dealing with some of the scripts that we have to deal with voiceover, I'm pretty sure that I can get through your punctuation errors, no problem.
It's just stupid shit. Like they put periods outside of quotations, and I'm like, that's like, how did this? Like, okay, whatever. I'm just gonna copy it exactly as it is.
I'm getting a lot of like. I'm getting a lot of the, like, there's just commas in the wrong place. Like, I know where you meant to put the comma, but you put it 3 words later.
I get a lot of, like, they don't put commas at all. And I used to just be like, okay, fuck it, I'm reading this whole goddamn sentence without pausing. Now I can't even read sentences without commas without pausing. So I'm just like, all right. Like I'm pausing where I fucking feel like pausing if you're not putting commas. And I find myself yelling at my screen, just like, use commas!
All the time. Like I should really save some of my outtakes, because my outtakes are filled with a whole bunch of, like, what the fuck does that even mean?
Yeah. I know how that goes.
That doesn't even make any sense.
There's a lot there would, if I saved my outtakes, there would be a lot of data used up on, is that even a word? What the fuck does that even mean? This was the first time I've ever actually done this. The other night I'm doing a voiceover and there's a brand name in it. Okay, if anybody out there ever starts a company and you're hiring somebody to do a voiceover and you've made up your company name, like it's not a word that actually exists, you've made it up. Put your pronunciation in the script for your narrator. I ended up calling this fucking company in Canada at like 4 a.m. Just like, well, I'm sure I'll get their voicemail or something, and it'll say, how to say their company name. And luckily it did. I'm thinking like, because all the phone numbers listed except for one are like, here's the number for the CEO. Here's the number for this person. Here's the number for this person. I'm like, I don't want to call like people at 4 o'clock in the fucking morning. I want to call the company at 4 o'clock in the morning. So it rang like 6 or 7 times. I'm like, fuck, I'm going to wake somebody up. I'm going to fucking wake somebody up. This is going to somebody's personal fucking line. Finally, after like 7 or 8 rings, it picks up and it gives me the fucking brand name, whatever it was. And I'm just like, okay, that's how I thought I would have said it.
I've had to do a couple of voiceovers talking about YouTubers for YouTube videos of all things.
Yeah, I've done a few
and
of those.
I'm like in front of my microphone, I'm recording, and I'm like pulling up YouTube to make sure I'm saying the name of the goddamn YouTuber correctly. It's like, is it PewDiePie or PewDiePie?
See, I know that one. That's because my old neighbor used to watch PewDiePie all the time. So I would be over there and she'd have him on. And we just like sit there and watch his videos. So I know a lot of the, like Markiplier, and like I know some of the bigger names back then, and now, but they keep coming. So it's like, man, I don't know some of these newer ones. Like here's the top 10 YouTube revenue makers. I'm like, I've never heard of any of these people. I watch a lot of YouTube.
I have this one channel that I do the regular narration for, and what I'm literally doing is verbatim reading somebody else's hyped up opinion about YouTubers. Like I'm acting as if I'm that guy complaining about other people on YouTube.
Do you ever read other people's opinion pieces and you completely disagree with their opinion, but you're just like, fuck, I'm getting paid?
Yeah, it's like, this isn't anything that's really dangerous or incendiary. This is just like,
yeah, no, exactly.
Something about what we now consider to be the modern day reality stars. So whatever.
Yeah.
5 people are going to see this.
Yeah, no, I mean, I get like, I'll have opinions in like the wrestling scripts I read that I don't necessarily agree with. And I'm like, fuck it, I don't care. I'm getting paid. I disagree with this. I've probably made that opinion known on Twitter at some point while watching the shows, but hey, I'm getting paid for this, and I'm not paid for my opinion.
How many times last year did you have to sing Orange Cassidy's praises through your teeth?
Oh, I Orange Cassidy has grown on me.
That's why I said last year.
Yeah, no,
Oh, wait a minute. It's 2021 now. In 2019, how many times did you have to do that?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, a lot of these channels just really focus more on WWE for some reason. Like, no, there's actual, like, other wrestling companies now you guys could talk about. Like, you could talk about AEW. They're consistently winning the Wednesday Night Wars. You could talk about Impact because their viewership's gone up since they've partnered with AEW. Like, there's other things to talk about besides what color fucking shoes Roman Reigns is wearing. So, which is literally something I had to talk about in a script over the last couple of days. So,
wow.
Yeah. But no, I don't know. I mean, I did get to a point last year where I kind of said, like, okay, if it's anything to do with politics, talk to me about it first before you place your order, because somebody did I did a voiceover for Plandemic, the film. And I'm just,
I remember that, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like so uncomfortable doing it. But I'm like, oh, nobody's going to see this anyway. I had that opinion, you know. And then I'm like starting to see like people talking about this, and I'm just like, okay, I don't want anything to do with this. So when the guy placed another order, I'm like, dude, no, we're not doing this. Like, cancel this. I'm not doing it. I don't agree with this at all. He's like, oh no, you're just an actor. Like, yeah, with fucking morals about about public fucking safety, dude. Like, this is not cool. I don't want to do this. We're not doing this. And I ended up just like going to Fiverr and being like, listen, let me give this dude his money back for the last fucking job too, because I don't want his fucking money. I would hope he's not going to use that I've already done. Like, I want to give him his money back so he can hire somebody else to do this shit. And they were, oh, you have to get him to agree to it. Well, yeah, okay, because he's going to disagree to take fucking money back, right? You know? So I had to unblock this dude, send him a message, be like, dude, listen, here's what's going on. This is what I'm trying to do for you. Because, you know, like, I don't want to take somebody's money and then be like, no, I don't want, you know, don't use my shit that you paid for. So I was like, here's your money back. Please hire somebody else to do what I've already done for you. Because I don't agree with any of this shit. Like, this is a public health crisis. He's like, well, you're an actor, you know, like, I'm trying to think what fucking, like, Tom Hanks wasn't really stranded on that island. Like, there's a huge fucking difference here, dude. Like,
how many millions of dollars did Tom Hanks pay to be not stranded on that island?
Yeah, right. I mean, and it's not like Tom Hanks being stranded on the fucking island was going to cause going to further a public health crisis. Like me, you know, like this documentary is going to do when they tell people, oh, this was planned by so and so and so and so, and they planned to plant this disease in Wuhan and started. Like, get the fuck out of here, man. People are fucking dying. There's a huge
Worst
difference.
thing Tom Hanks did was drown a fucking volleyball.
Exactly. Like, and he didn't want to. Just he fell off the fucking boat or the raft or whatever the fuck he was floating away on. Yeah, I just, it's like, man, that is the worst fucking comparison. You're trying to compare me, a narrator who doesn't agree with, who thinks that this is actually very dangerous to fucking do what you want to put out, to Tom Hanks being in a fucking movie about being stranded on a deserted island. Like, what the fuck, dude? Seriously.
And also, no offense, Joe, Tom Hanks is way better than you.
Oh, I don't disagree. I will never be Tom Hanks.
I've been getting a lot of voiceover jobs for the whole Meghan Markle and Harry thing.
Yeah, I have luckily managed to avoid that somehow.
And every time I get one, I when I see the title of the script before I look at it, I'm just like, oh God, please don't be toxic. Please don't be toxic. Please don't be toxic. Luckily, I haven't gotten a toxic one so far. Everything's been kind of chill, but like I'm waiting for the day.
They had their interview. I think their interview was on Sunday or something, right? During the AEW pay-per-view. So I was sitting here at home watching AEW, and Karina's at her mom's house, and her mom is watching the interview. And she's like, I didn't know anything about this interview until she said she was that they were watching it. And she's like, oh, Oprah's interviewing, you know, Harry and Meghan. And I'm like, Oprah, isn't she like 100 now? and just like, to me, I've never had any interest at all in any of that. I live in a country that, you know, 200 years ago or whatever, like, fought to not have to give a shit about any of that. So, you know, like, I good for them getting away from whatever they got away from getting out of the royal family, but like, I don't care enough to pay attention to it. I don't care enough to watch it. I don't care enough to like actually like have any kind of understanding of what's going on. So,
I understand what you're saying. Like, from an American standpoint, giving a shit about British royals is kind of stupid.
Mm-hmm.
But in this particular situation, I feel it's at least a little important from a societal standpoint.
Sure.
Because of, if you think about it this way, Harry's mother, Princess Diana, went through all of this shit before.
Yes.
So we're basically watching the same thing on repeat. Luckily, they got themselves out before anything bad happened.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
Princess Diana was like this huge icon to so many women and girls back in, like, what was it, 97 when she died?
Mm-hmm.
So like that was impactful to a lot of people aside from the whole royals thing.
Fair enough. Yeah, that's a fair point.
So yeah, a lot of people, they're kind of viewing this the same way.
Fair enough. That's a fair point. Okay, we got one more song to go. So if you wanted anything else, if you had anything else you wanted to get out before we get off air, this is the time to do it.
I wasn't expecting to go over that, but here we are.
Yeah, I guess just whatever comes to mind is what we talk about on this show, as is always the case, no matter who's in the co-host chair. But this is our last song of the day. This is Grace Stumberg. And Grace is, she has 3 shows coming up this week. They're on these little cards here. Let me see. I will find them. Grace is at, she's got a solo show Saturday at the Big Easy. She is, Thursday at the Lodge on the Green, and Sunday at Murph's Warsaw Grill. So you got a few chances, to, safely social distance, wear your masks, wash your hands, all that fun stuff. See Grace Stumberg this weekend. And this song is called Redemption Day on all WNY ThinkSoJoE show. Kevin, thank you so much for hanging out and chatting with me today and keeping this show interesting. And you're free to hang up whenever you want after I hit the button. So,
oh, gee, thanks.
If you want to. Yeah, all right. Thanks a lot, man. I appreciate you.
Later.
I've wept for those who suffer long, but how I weep for those who've gone into rooms of grief and question wrong, but keep on killing. It's in the soul to feel such things, but weak to watch without speaking. And oh, what mercy sadness brings if God be willing. There is a train that's headed straight to heaven's gate, to heaven's gate. Redemption Day. Fire rages in the streets and swallows everything it meets. It's just an image often seen on television. Come leaders, come you men of great, let us hear you pontificate. Your many virtues lay to waste. Redemption Day. It's buried in the countryside.